Hi everyone, I'm Diane Langman. I'm the mayor of the village of Warfield and chair of the regional district of Kootenay Boundary. I'm here today with the mayor of Grand Forks, Mayor Brian Taylor, Director Roly Russell, and our EOC manager, Chris Marsh. We're here today. We understand everybody's really concerned about this freshet. It's really uncertain, and we know that this is a really stressful time for everyone, and especially going through all of this during a pandemic as well. So we just want to be here to make sure you know that all of us are here for you and to provide some information for you as well. So I'll pass this over to Chris Marsh.
Thank you, Chair Langman, and I just want to echo your concern for the residents. It's unfortunate that the boundary region has had to bear two major floods, and now we're going into a very uncertain time here, and fires in the past as well, and the effects of COVID-19, which has had a major effect on the region. So our hearts go out to all the residents and the businesses and everyone in the region. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we'll have a look at some of the current weather and river forecast information. So what we're looking at here is the current Clever model for the Granby River. This was updated about 15 minutes ago. Everyone will remember the very, very scary graphs from yesterday, and those graphs were driven by weather forecasts of up to 70 millimeters of rain, and also a very high snowpack that we expected to have 2 days of really hot temperatures that would have primed that snowpack for melt. And when we get rain on a snowpack like that, we call it a rain on snow event, and that's what happened to us in 2018. It's an incredibly difficult situation to predict, both the condition of the snow, the temperatures, and the amount of precipitation and where it's going to fall and what effect that's going to have. And so this is one of the things that you've heard me talk about, and it's just incredibly challenging for our forecasters and for us to predict what's going to happen. So yesterday we did see incredibly high readings for all three of our river systems. Today they're less so. But from our perspective, we are proceeding as though, there's a lot of variability in these models, and, we want to be prepared, because it's not impossible that tomorrow we could be seeing those high levels again for Monday and Tuesday. So there are a number of, temporary flood protective works underway. I know a lot of people are sandbagging this weekend. We do suggest that we keep on that path until we hear otherwise. And we do have a phone call this afternoon with the River Forecast Center and Environment Canada. We'll have more information at that time, and they'll be able to read into these models a little bit for us. But for now, the risk is still there, but good to see these levels going down. So the Granby River near Grand Forks looking like it could get back to a 1 in 5 year return. The West Kettle River at Westbridge, catching that water that's coming out of the Big White area in Beaverdale. Now looking to be just over a 2-year level, although yesterday this one was above a 100-year return. So again, that variability is a concern for us. Looking at the Kettle River near Westbridge, this one's looking to be just over a 5-year return. So, well, between a 5 and a 10-year return. So this is definitely our highest level as of today, reflects both the snowpack and the rain that might be received in that area. But again, there's a huge amount of variability in these models, and so we want to take everything with a grain of salt until we hear from the experts that we can proceed otherwise. And here we're looking at the Kettle near Ferry graph. This is the USGS graph that we look at quite a bit. This is the closest monitoring station that we have to Grand Forks. This one hasn't been updated. It was updated first thing this morning. Actually, sorry, it was re-updated here just before 11. Still showing those higher levels, getting up just above 19, but just for reference, our levels in 2018 were about 22.5 feet, so not seeing that same level anymore. But of course, we do see that sharp rise, and it is all dependent on the snow conditions at the time that the rain's going to fall. And I just wanted to share today's weather forecast, or the weather radar as of right now. We are seeing thunderstorms move up through the region. A lot of them right now are primarily moving through the lower mainland and St. Manning Park area. These are not the storms that were predicted to get later, but these are helpful because they're going to keep today's temperatures down a little bit. So we had been predicted at one point to see 35 degrees today. We're unlikely to see that at this point. So that's good news. But of course, the early onset of rain is something that we'll have to monitor very closely. So Just want to talk a little bit about the protective works that are going in right now, and I'm sure Mayor Taylor will talk about this a little bit more, but there are protections going in for a number of locations today. We do have about 50 people on site in Grand Forks and in the rural areas working on protective works. Our objectives for today are to provide protection for the downtown core, for 68th Street or 68th Ave, and down around the Rockwool and Interfor areas, protecting the access to those areas and the industrial area and the water treatment plant as well. So there are a number of other small protective works that are planned. Our teams are working very hard, and these installations are quite complex, and so they're working through their list of priorities very quickly, but there are a number of spots where they're hoping to have an impact. And they're also making provisions for protecting locations that may be located outside of those structures as well. So, and as I said, we're maintaining our sand and sandbag locations. We do have 10 loads of sand coming to the arena if they're not there yet. So there will be sand provided through the weekend for anybody that wants to protect their own homes. So, you know, just again, it's an incredibly challenging time for everybody, and just know that we're here with you, and we're doing everything we can to mitigate the risk. So I'll pass it over. Thank you very much.
Hi, Brian Taylor, Mayor of Grand Forks. Thank you, Chris. It looks like predictions are somewhat better, but again, with the uncertainty and variability, the position of the city is that we're planning for the worst and hoping for the best. So we are going ahead with these measures in terms of protective measures. We're not backing off at all. And as mentioned by Chris, there will be tiger dams and interruptions on Riverside behind the fire department. So these traffic interruptions could happen around 2nd Street and Rockwool as they work in that area as well. But the bottom line for the city is that the manpower is on the ground. We're working today, and we're staying on top of it at this point, expecting to be expecting the worst, but hoping for the best. Thank you. Roly.
Hi, everybody. Roly Russell, Rural Grand Forks Director. Just to reiterate, this uncertainty is not what any of us need right now, now of all times. And I think that just to reiterate too, we know that and we feel that. And as we all heard a lot during the COVID situation, you know, that phrase, we're all in this together, and certainly holds true again here. I want to reiterate, you know, some of the pieces Chris mentioned there, specifically around just how wildly variable and extremely localized our rain forecasts are for this weekend. And that really makes all of this very unpredictable. And so a good reminder to just be very aware and attentive to how things unfold over the next couple of days. I also wanted to remind people that we have, through the RD, we have that Voyant alerting system. That is a tool that you can use to register for evacuation alerts or evacuation orders. I know we've been hearing some people that are concerned about not getting the alerts that they want to get. Please make sure if you get on that site, it's okay to put multiple locations in there if you want. Just be attentive then to the locations that you have registered to make sure that you're paying attention to the correct alerts and orders for your own personal property or business. And a reminder that the EOC, if you have questions, feel free to call them at 1-888-747-9119. That's 888-747-9119 if you have any questions. So yes, thank you. Thanks to Diane and Chris and Brian. And please be prepared and remember to watch both the weather and our RDKB website. Thanks everybody, and take care.